because that's literally money down the waste. It causes you fire risk assessment problems, the fire brigade problems, it causes you insurance problems. My biggest learning of sustainability so far is that we've tried quite a few things here and they haven't worked. So we're looking to close a loop or a circle. So we looked at it in the Manoir, we identified 4 different types of food waste. Every single department within every single area of your business touches waste, produces waste. So therefore, make that head of department responsible for that waste.
Welcome to the Lunch at Work podcast, where we talk to experts about how to make workplaces better.
Rhodri, thank you so much for agreeing to do one of our Lunch at Work podcasts. Here we are in the beautiful Le Manoir au Quat'Saisons. As you have a very complicated job title, any chance you could explain us to what you do?
Yeah, of course, and welcome. Thanks for having me. So I am the Facilities, Environmental and Sustainability Manager at Le Manoir au Quat'Saisons. I look after, obviously, the facilities and then anything and everything to do with the environmental and sustainability impact. And
one of the reasons why we kind of wanted to set this up was around the after the award of the Green Michelin star Accolade that Le Manoir has received, alongside the 2 stars already in existence from the culinary side. Any chance you could tell us a little bit more about that and what drove Le Manoir to try and achieve that?
Obviously, 40 years we've had the 2 Michelin stars this year. The ethos of the Manoir has always been about garden to plate. So in some respect, it's ingrained in our culture. Monsieur Blanc has made that very clear from day one when he bought the house back in 1984. And that's an accumulation of culture, development, local sourcing, and really being understanding of our impact, not only on the local community, but as we're part of a larger global brand now, that larger impact that we have and what we can maybe influence on others, which is quite important to us.
And tell us about that global brand, the benefit that brings to Le Manoir. We've recently been acquired ourselves under WSH, so it'd be great to know how that has impacted.
Our sister company is Belmond Hotel Groups. Belmond was acquired 4 years ago by the LVMH Group, Louis Vuitton, Monet Hennessy Group. From a sustainability point of view, it's really given us that real focus and determination to make changes. And of course, the financial backup to achieve some of those changes, because as you know, within the business, the small things, all the small little things do count, but sometimes you need some investment, and often investment in sustainability doesn't necessarily fall within the ROIs of a standard business model. That's all right.
Yeah.
It's a long-term, it's a real long-term investment, a long-term vision, and you need people at the top echelons to really understand that and really drive that. So Belmond are a fantastic company to work for. They're really people-focused. LVMH are too. So it sort of works. It's a very similar concept to what we have here at the moment.
So from a sustainability perspective, what is your objective on a daily basis that is able to live and breathe those values that you've created to get that Green Michelin star?
From the F&B point of view, it's the garden to plate. So we're going to have a walk down later. We're going to see the gardens. We're going to see the orchard. The focus has always been gastronomy linking to the ground, to the food, or to the French will call it the terroir. So we get the terroir, the ground, and we're always looking for loops, circles. So we're looking to close a loop or a circle. It's very hard sometimes to close the big circle. So what we try to do in our departments and in our day-to-day sort of operations is we're looking for those small circles that we can try and close, and then all the circles add up to a bigger circle. I know it's a bit cliche, but it's true. You do one thing good and you move on, another thing good and you move on, and you keep looking to diversify and change. And more importantly, we encourage our teams to challenge us as senior leaders, to make a change, to be different, to be more community spirited, to look at local engagement with neighbourhoods, to look at maybe a different product, to look at a different material. So we run a sustainability champions team. We really give them sort of a helping hand to really drive the changes within the department. And that's fundamentally, again, I come back to culture. That's driven from Monsieur Blanc, the culture of change, a culture to diversify. And
was it Monsieur Blanc or was it you who went after the Green Michelin star?
We were just awarded it.
Oh.
So the Michelin star is given to you, similar as the other Michelin stars. So we were awarded it, we were given it.
So it wasn't an objective, it was something that because of the practices you put in place,
yes,
it was recognised for the efforts that
we were rewarded for it, yeah. Very much so. I imagine like the food side of it. Yeah.
You mentioned sustainability champions that you've empowered within the workplace. Is that a good recommendation back into businesses such as ours to sort of across the business give other people, employees, the opportunity to champion what they see within their own environment?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, without a doubt. I think the role, although I overlook sustainability here, you can't do it all yourself. Run it as you would your F&B outlet or your facilities outlet. Empower people below you, give them the training, give them the knowledge, and by then you develop the culture. Mr. Blanc is a driver of it. Niall Kingston, my general manager, is a massive believer in sustainability. Belmond are a massive believer in sustainability. So the culture at the top is already established and it's growing still. If you don't develop that culture at the top, as with any other business segment, it's not going to filter down. So yeah, green teams, eco teams, doesn't matter whatever you want to call them. I always get laughed at by that, but the easiest thing to talk about is rubbish. Waste is one of the three big costs to a business: waste, labour, energy. Every single department within every single area of your business touches waste, produces waste. So therefore, make that head of department responsible for their waste. Make that business understand the cost of that waste. Then all of a sudden you can really drive change. And then from that, I often use that as a catalyst to go, oh, that's interesting. So this packaging is a general waste. What kind of new packagings can we develop? Can we work with some local suppliers to develop a eco packaging? Can the packaging be composted? Some of it goes a long way and actually develops into something, and then some of it, you tried it, it just doesn't work. I think my biggest learning of sustainability so far is that we've tried quite a few things here and they haven't worked. That's fine. But if you don't try, you don't develop.
True.
And if you don't develop, then you become stagnant. And if you don't stagnant, then your business falls by the wayside. So,
but I guess it's helpful to have lots of individuals within different departments, because you can't see everything what's going on all the time. So you need people that are responsible within those areas.
Yeah, so my sort of unwritten rule with the eco team or the sustainability team is I want people who are genuinely, honestly focused on sustainability. They've got a real passion for it. And if they can't, then the HOD, the leader of that department, has to attend.
Yeah. So it's about creating the culture, getting the buy-in, making sure that, and then filtering down, and then having people that are passionate about it to really live and breathe the values of it.
Why would the chef not know the farmer where he's getting the pig or the meat from? You know, why would the gardener not know where the seeds are coming from? It's yeah, when you think about it, actually, it's a good point. You know, sustainability now has become more prerequisite to luxury than it ever has been. So the prerequisites are luxury materials, good wine, good food. Sustainability is on there now. Looking after people, management. They're all prerequisites to luxury because people, the price point we're at, I believe people expect that and actually demand it in some respect. So, yeah, it's culture is a massive, massive, massive thing. And it's quite hard for us here as well. And bear in mind, like I already said, we were already quite well established in that way. Pre-COVID, I was looking at almost doing away with general waste bins. But obviously COVID came in and everything went to single packaging and stuff. And we're still catching up, retraining the teams on that and getting that culture back in, because it's been ingrained in them so hard for 2 years that we have to now retrain that culture. And that's hard.
Because in our world as well, we had that exact same thing. We were on this massive drive. We were doing everything we could to reduce the single-use plastic, and suddenly COVID hits, and then we're back into this, well, you've got to go back many years worth of effort and really push for it again. So we've talked about the local element to Le Manoir. We've got an amazing array of vegetables and gardens out there to be able to select from. How does Luke Selby, who's the executive chef, and others, how do they go out there and responsibly source then the meat, the fish, particularly fish at the moment as well? What's the approach from Le Manoir? So
I think you have to look at it a little bit more holistically. You have to look at a almost like a hierarchy sliding scale. The quality has to be there. So if we were to buy beef from Farmer John's across the road, super local, however, the quality and husbandry of his beef was not as good as Farmer Steve's up the road in Warwickshire, we're going to go to Warwickshire because that's where the quality is. Ideally, if you can, you go to the gate, deal directly with a farmer if you can do that. You'll often find some of the small holding farmers, maybe, especially for us, maybe don't have all the right paperwork they need, so you have to help them with that, you know. And it's a again, it's a relationship, it's a partnership we have to do. I actually think sourcing fish is pretty easy. You phone up your fish supplier, and you tell him that you want day boat fish from Cornwall or wherever, and you tell him that you're not going to have any dredge, you want line caught, and you find your right supplier, and he tells you what's coming off the boats. Irrespective of how much you're buying, there's somebody somewhere who's seeing the fish. You need to find out who they are, who that person is, and then speak to them, find out what's good, what's coming up, and developing your menus around it.
So tell us about the food, because let's face it, we're here for the Manoir, we're here for the food and the wine.
Mm-hmm.
Not today, just so we're clear.
Yeah.
Tell us about the food. Tell us about the approach and working alongside someone like Monsieur Blanc and with Luke here now from Evelyn's Table.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us about that, because that's what.
Well, sure, yeah. So Luke's joined the team last year, maybe a bit longer now. He is a Raymond Blanc protege. He came here. He did his apprenticeship here. He's done the sections, and he left and worked in wonderful kitchens around the world. He's worked for the Ramsays, the Roos. He's won the Young National Chef of the Year. He's won the National Chef of the Year and the Roos Scholarship. He's worked in 3 stars in Japan. He's just a very nice breath of fresh air as an executive chef. He cares about his team. It really matters to him how his team are doing. And then happy chefs cook happy food. I know it's all cliche, but it's true. You know, happy chefs cook tastier food. Because if you're happy, you know, it's the same in any job, really. And again, and I know we keep coming back to Monsieur Blanc, but it is his house. You know, he's that culture, that drive it does stem from him. You know, and I see us as almost ambassadors for him. We're almost from a building perspective, we're custodians. I see us that we're just borrowing this building. We're custodians, and it's up to us really to really make an impact and really make a really positive impact, not only on the food scene but also on the sustainability scene. But Luke's brought in some really. I had a really nice meal at Evelyn's Table. Myself and my wife Jeanette, we went there. It was like really good, really good. His scallop with carafoam was just like exceptional. Like, yeah.
I know you and I can talk
Yes.
for hours about our different plates of food, but
Yeah, it's a really positive. He's had such a positive impact on the business.
yeah. When we did the tour of the kitchens, it felt very respectful and felt calm and enjoyable.
Yes,
It didn't, the high pressure kitchens and so on. It doesn't feel like that here. It feels very measured, and that the objective of everybody is to achieve the ultimate goal, which is customer satisfaction and to deliver an amazing plate of food. Is that Luke's impact, or is that something that's always existed here under Monsieur Blanc?
it's always existed, but with change becomes further development. Luke's impact in the kitchen has been massive. Yeah, really instrumental in changing the cultures and sort of the calmness. Evelyn's Table when he was there it was just himself, Theo, and Nat, his 2 brothers, and they're on show. The kitchen is what they had. They didn't have a great big prep kitchen, so it's a really I think that concept and working, and also working. You know, he's worked in like the best restaurants in the world. This is a chef who's applied his trade at some of the hardest, best kitchens in the world. So he's just brought real positivity and impact, and also obviously with the new chef, you bring different flavor profiles, and different interactions and stuff. So that's been a really, and he's really focused on ingredients, where it comes from, why.
And does he get to say what gets planted in the, or is that done by the gardeners, or is it?
Yeah, they have
collaborative?
they have a weekly meeting. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what's been planted, what's coming up, when's that? Because we'll see in a minute. You know, we're a 32-acre property, but the veg garden is probably about 4 acres. So we can't physically produce enough for the whole property. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
But when things are in season and good, then Luke will use them. Yeah.
So you talk about like closed loop, the circle, to kind of close it out. You love talking about rubbish.
I do.
So tell us about the waste management element of the business, but also coupled with that, what advice would you give us in our corporate catering world, where we're client based on their premises, and where we can bring initiatives in that exist here, but we're able to, in the locality of what we have, be able to do some more sustainable things.
So the first thing you have to do with waste is you have to figure out what you're wasting. So if you just talk about food waste, because it's probably easier, hierarchy of waste is remove, reduce, reuse, recycle. If you're producing a lot of food waste, your F&B directors or managers should be asking why, first of all, because that's your profit. So it's all well and good, it's all well and good reusing that food waste to make more food, but actually, do you actually need to create that waste in the first place? Because that's literally money down the waste. So are you overproducing? Does the executive chef know what he's ordering? And any executive chef worth their salt should really be pretty squared away on ordering what they're doing, especially in establishments where, I don't know, they're set menus. So for example, you're going to do 1,000 covers of, I don't know, curry, or 1,000 covers of this, or 1,000 covers of that a day. Then in essence, your recipes and your waste should be squared away. It becomes a bit more tricky when you've got a la carte, or you've got Michelin restaurants or stuff like that, where potentially you've got multiple menus. But again, all good F&B directors and chefs roughly know what the guests are going to eat. And all good restaurant managers and directors should be able to tell the guests what to eat. So it's another skill set. And then you look at the waste and what do you want to do with it? What kind of waste is it? So we looked at it in the Manoir. We identified 4 different types of food waste. You had your organic compostable. So that's your spinach trimmings, bits and bobs like that. They can go into our composter, which we're lucky to have. I'll show you. You've got food scrapings. That's your food. That's food scrapings. That's food. That's proper food waste. Really, it's food waste.
Plate waste.
Plate waste, inedibles. You can't really do. You're not going to do anything with that.
Yeah.
Right. You then also got uncompostable stuffs. So your cat too. So like your meat bones, that kind of stuff. Where, you can process them again to make a stock, but ultimately, once that stock's been processed, you can make a remillage. You're really sort of pushing the boundaries of how far you can take this, and that's ultimately a food waste, and that has to be dealt with. And then you've basically got, which is what all kitchens can look at, you've got wasted food. And that is ordering too much, taking too much trimmings, not enough portion control. That is wasted food. And that is what you can reduce massively within the kitchen. Or you turn them into a special, or you produce another food out of it. What do you do with your leftover bread at home? You make bread and butter pudding. I'm not saying we can put bread and butter in the Manoir, but the
good plate of food.
Yeah, but it is actually. I like it. But the concept is the same. You wouldn't waste it at home, so why would you waste it at work? And that's, again, culturally. I always come back to culture. This is what we're trying to, if you just, I made 50 bread rolls today. I made 200 bread rolls today. So, but how many bread rolls do you need to make? So if you only got 50 guests, you need 60 bread rolls maybe, yeah? And you're making 200. So that's control. And then you look at the hierarchy of where you take that waste. So we've got a food dryer and a food composter on site. So that's where the loop gets closed. That food waste stays on site, goes through the compost. It takes 14 days to go through the machine. Then we store it. And then that goes back onto the orchard or the beds. And then that's used to grow the veg, and you create your circles. When it comes to initiatives of making food from food waste, and I think that's, again, where you need to empower your teams to be creative.
Our chef director, Pete Raymond, created a concept called Wasted, which is taking exactly that, turning things into products that can be used. We hosted a charity dinner the other day where part of the dishes was reusing elements to do exactly that, to be responsible.
Yeah.
And actually, I think customers are being more accepting of the journey of that now, as opposed to, it's a little bit, I quite like the story behind it.
Yeah.
And that's been beneficial.
Yeah, and I think you also look at your cuts of meat you're taking as well, and then you go into the whole purchasing and processing side of it. Should we be eating scientists, should you be eating as much red meat? And this is coming from a person who eats, I like steak, but are we naturally just eating less red meat? Are we naturally eating more food groups? Are our clients our guests being more aware of what they should and shouldn't be eating? And they are. They clearly are, because what they're asking for. So I think that's then another discussion. It's difficult at the luxury level. I'll probably get chased to the zoo for this. Semi-eco products are not luxury enough. They're not. We've looked at luxury, sustainable slippers. I'm not saying they're not out there. We just haven't found one that feels the same as a 100% cotton slipper. It's just.
But the fact that you're looking for it, the fact that you're taking charge of this, whether it be a slipper or whether it be in the kitchen, doesn't really matter. It's about the process behind it. It's about the culture you're talking about. And I think if every organisation took that into play in that same way, we would end up having a lot more of a sustainable way of working practices. We made a decision a while back to switch our chemical products, for example, to Delphis Eco.
Yeah.
For that very reason, and to go down a different route to be more environmentally friendly. And the impact to the business of that has actually been one of only positivity. It's a great product. It's used well. We've done a podcast with Mark Yankovic from Delphis Eco, and it's allowed us to be able to be leading the way in contract catering to saying that this is a product that we stand behind.
Yeah.
So we take that into our businesses, and that's our product of choice. What advice would you give our clients? You know the nature of our business and what we do. What advice would you give our clients in supporting us in our sustainable approach whilst we're guests on site in their premises?
From a kitchen perspective, you again put little smart controls in. So, if your kitchen shuts at 5, have the extract switch off on a timer. I know it's basic stuff, really cheap as well. It probably costs you a couple £100 with the Sparky. If you still have gas, try and get rid of it. Induction. Also, from a business continuity point of view, gas is a single point of failure. Yeah. So it causes you. Gas causes you major problems. It causes you fire risk assessment problems, the fire brigade problems. It causes you insurance problems. If you've got gas in your property, your insurance goes up. Get rid of your gas in your property, your insurance will probably drop a bit. So again, when we look at sustainability, you look at it holistically. It is about doing the right thing, sustainability, but the non-tangibles of sustainability are actually quite cost effective as well. But you may not see them straight away. A lot of the stuff I'd say now is probably basic stuff, and I'd probably expect most people to have them. LED lights. It's look. Not only the light bulbs, actually look for the LED fittings. If you're gonna do a garden or a herb patch or something, grow something. Grow it to be practicable to use. Don't grow it to be pretty. If it's going to be a kitchen garden, so there's no point having 15 different types of vegetable in a patch. You're better off just growing one thing very, very well. Grow hard herbs. Hard herbs are hardy. They last all summer. Your thymes, your rosemaries, your sages. So stuff like that. If you're gonna grow vegetables, I don't know, grow ones that have a short grow period, so you can turn the soil better.
We've heard so much about what you do, why you do it. Yeah. However, what is your biggest challenge that you face on a daily basis, or even greater than that? But what is that challenge that you can't overcome yet that you need to find a solution for, apart from slippers?
There is so much going around at the moment within the press, and rightly so. So, however, there's quite a lot of misinformation and got quite a lot of greenwashing around. So people say, I'm doing this because it's green, I'm doing it. So my biggest challenge at the moment, the team are doing things because they want to make a change and make a really good initiative. And you don't want to really pull them back on that because you really want them to be enthusiastic. But we've had some instances where we're very good conscious. They've made a purchase or made a change to something or a product. They maybe haven't quite checked it out properly. And then when you look at it, it's actually bloody awful. Because from a sustainability point of view, you look at it and go, it's biodegradable. But actually when you look at it, it's biodegradable in 200 years. So that's the challenge. There's a lot of greenwashing from companies selling you stuff. So this is compostable, this is biodegradable, this is this. But actually when you look into it, maybe the end product is, but actually how was that product created in the first place?
Well, on that note, and I think a massive thank you for doing this podcast today. I've learned a lot. You don't talk rubbish, it's brilliant. And I really appreciate you allowing us to host it here at Le Manoir. So thank you very much, Rhodri.
Thanks for having me.
This podcast is powered by BM Caterers. Contacting BM is the easiest way to start your journey to a better workplace experience. Click the link in the description for more info.